Hey, I am Chris. I thought it could be nice to use your favorite ShaderToy shaders as textures inside Blender. So what I did, I took GLSL Texture, a great add-on from Patricio Gonzalez Vivo, and modified it to be able to use ShaderToy shaders as is as textures in Blender. And as you can see here, you can not only use static textures, but you can also animate them similar to like you do in ShaderToy. The installation of the add-on is pretty straightforward. You just go to the repository on GitHub, download the zip file, and then use in Blender the install from zip file functionality in the add-on menu to install the add-on. Then don't forget to activate the add-on, searching for texture and setting the checkbox. Once installed, you can find the Add ShaderToy Texture operator either using F3 and search for it, or you go to the Add menu where you also find the ShaderToy Texture menu. Here you can set the resolution of the texture and then you find the image inside the image viewer. The add-on also creates a text file that belongs to the texture and that contains the shader code. If you modify the shader code, it recompiles it and the changes are immediately visible in the image viewer. Now you can use this texture anywhere in Blender, for instance as the input in a shader tree. But how do animations work? Just like in ShaderToy, the shader accepts a shader input variable called iTime, which is bound to the timeline in Blender. And if you modify the marker in the timeline, it will set the new value and regenerate the texture. But now let's finally use a shader from ShaderToy. Just go to your favorite shader. Here I used the Mario World example, which I really love. Copy and paste the code into the text editor and you will finally see the output of the shader. Obviously, like every shader, you can animate it just using the Blender timeline. But why should I use ShaderToy textures in Blender anyway? Well, it's a really powerful shader generator and you can combine it now with the power of 3D and use all these nice ShaderToy shaders inside 3D scenes. But it's not just nice to use them as textures in the 3D scene, you can also use them as background and to light your scene. Here, for instance, I used a great atmospheric shader to light the scene. I've linked all the shaders that I used in this video in the video description. However, there are also some callouts I have to make. Number one, the add-on is still pretty alpha. Don't expect it to be totally reliable. Also, the add-on does not yet support shaders that use an image as an input. Finally, keep in mind that this add-on just generates a texture. If you produce the same result using the powerful shader nodes in Blender, the renderer will have better means to optimize the rendering, for instance in terms of texture filtering. But now I'm curious what you think. Please leave a comment below the video and thank you for listening.